What's up, everyone? So let's talk about from a employee to an entrepreneur. Craft.
I don't care what your business is, men, women, you have to understand that you're going into a huge lifestyle change. And I tell people it's not for everybody.
Your exit strategy. You ever feel tired of the 9 to 5 and ready to finally take control of your financial future and pursue your passion full time? Don't just dream of becoming an entrepreneur. Strategize, plan for this. In this video, I'll equip you with essential tools and insight to navigate a way to transition from employee to being a business owner.
First stage is you're a treadmill operator. Feel like you're on a treadmill, right? You're all by yourself. You're the CEO, the chief everything officer. And the problem that you've got to overcome there is too much of the business relies on you.
And if you haven't known, I do business consultant and I teach a lot of people how to start businesses from $0. Now, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purpose. And like and subscribe to my video. Now, let's talk about this and make sure you have a good understanding. The entrepreneurial awakening, why now is your time.
There is never a bad time to open a great business, and there is never a good time to open a shitty business. Yes, we're heading into a recession potentially, but if you're a great operator, Wine Library, when I took over, recession, exploded it.
The global shift from remote work and gig economy growth makes entrepreneur more accessible than ever. Yes, being an entrepreneur is easy now. You can start being an entrepreneur by having the trade skills you need. Things like repairing people's houses and helping people with simple tasks you can make money at.
What started with apps like Uber and Fiverr has grown into entire economy. But it's more than just technology. It's a shift in how we think about work. People wanted freedom and flexibility, and gig jobs promised to deliver just that. However,
this is the thing you have to understand. There's going to be a shift from global market where you're going to be a contractor if you want to stay remote. And I don't know if it's going to be 100%, but I can start seeing that because they want people to go back to work. At the end of the day, it's up to these businesses what they want to do. But remote work is more accessible than ever. And getting contract is even easier with all these online opportunities. So it's the best time to be an entrepreneur. You can sell items on the internet. You can sell services on the internet. You can help people learn English. There's all different ways to become an entrepreneur. And this is where you have to figure out what's best for you. So personal freedom and control. That's the biggest thing I tell people. Escaping the 9 to 5 grind will build something truly yourself. You can do a lot of things. I talked to someone yesterday and he does financial consultant for the military personnel. So he goes to military bases and teaches the military members how to handle a budget, how to do finances. He doesn't have an education. He's just been doing it for a while, and the military paid for him to come out and do this. Now, this is his business, and he's just started it, and they gave him plenty of money to do this, and not a lot of people were doing it. Didn't understand why, but this is where he does his business. Now, the rising cost of living and stagnated wage push individuals to seek alternate route.
What happened to wages between the 1960s and today? The answer is they went nowhere. It's really important to understand that if you adjust the wages Americans got for the prices they have to pay to get what economists call the real wage, what you can afford to buy with the wages you get, the real wage in this country has stagnated for 50 years.
Meaning you need to start looking alternate route because the pay isn't there anymore. You're not getting pay raises. Your income level hasn't increases. You're struggling to pay bills because the rising cost of living and your wage is not increasing as fast as it's supposed to. So at the end of the day, you might want to become an entrepreneur because the rising of living and stagnated wages, the personal freedom and control, or the global shift to remote work and gig economy growth. One of those three reasons why you awaken to want to be an entrepreneur, and that's a great thing. Now, let's talk about building your launch pad and financial skill preparation. Now,
how do you start everything?
Do you know what business you want to do?
I like planes.
Do you want to teach people how to fly a plane?
Yeah.
Go become a pilot. Step 2, find anybody else that's interested in becoming a pilot. And
before you get into it, you need the Freedom Fund. This is calculating your runway to secure emergency savings to bridge the gap. That means if you quit your 9 to 5, this money is there to help you stave off any issue you run into, and this will help you survive any downturn. So you need to calculate how much money you need to transition. Maybe it's $1,000, maybe it's $50,000, maybe it's $100,000. I can't help you calculate this because I don't know what your expense is. Normally, I tell you, if you're going to try to become an entrepreneur, you need 1 year's worth of emergency fund. What's 1 year's worth? Well, how much is your mortgage? How much is your electric bills? How much is your water bill? And how much do you need to eat every month? If it's $2,000 a month, then you need $24,000 for this. So you understand you need to put money aside to see what you can afford to do this journey. Now, skill audit and upskilling. So this is where you need to identify, transfer skills, and learn a new one is crucial for your venture. So maybe you work as an engineer and you can straight transfer to be an entrepreneur on your own because you have the engineering skills. But not everyone is lucky like that. Sometimes someone just does something simple like painting. Well, he transferred out his skills of being a painter to being able to do it on his own. Pretty simple. But then sometimes you're not so lucky, right? So you need to see what skills you need to learn and what are crucial for your venture.
When you're going to start a business, one of the things that took a lot of extra work was I did not take a formal accounting class, and I wish I had taken 1 or 2 classes of accounting. It took me some years to really understand some of the concepts. So if you're going to be an entrepreneur, make sure you understand accounting.
So that you can learn it and learn it before you're going out. The one thing a lot of people need to learn before they become an entrepreneur on themselves is business management and financial management. Those are the 2 skills I say is very crucial for you before you go in there because people don't know how to do it. So make sure you understand that just because your skills transfer and you don't need any more skills, you need to think about how you can handle the money and how you can handle business. And then the next part to this building this preparation is side hustle experimental. Test your business idea and market demand while still employed. This is the biggest thing I tell people. Do not go cold turkey from your job. Do it while you have a job. Start a side hustle and bring in the money because sometimes you are going to need the income to stave off the warning. And sometimes you need to work out all the kinks of your business. I did this for every one of my business. I worked a 9 to 5. And then I brought a side hustle in. I did my side hustle and I worked out all the kinks. Where am I going to get the supply? How am I going to get my employees? How am I going to keep things going? Where's the money? How much money I'm going to get every month? And you start getting all these answers. Check. And now you know if you can survive. Because if you're making $100,000 a year as an engineer or whatever job you're doing, you're going to need to replace your job. Now, some people get mad that, oh, I need 20, 30,000 and I can survive. And then they expect it to grow dramatically. That's not always true. You need to understand that sometimes that you leave your full-time job, you will not get lucky with contracts and more money. So you need to understand there is a limit to everything. So sometimes you get lucky in your business, boom, after you quit your job. Sometimes it just stays the same. So this is where you need to make the judgment call. If contracts are coming in, yeah, go ahead, quit. But if if more contracts not coming in, then it's not worth it. Now, the next step is strategizing your departure plan, phase exit, and communication. So gradually transition versus cold turkey, right? So you need to slowly reduce your work hours and take on more part-time job. This means you might have to take your PTO instead of going on that vacation. Guess what? You are going to do your part-time job or project. That sucks, but that's what happens when you want to become an entrepreneur. Or reduce your work hours from 70 hours a week, 60 hours a week to straight 40 hours a week and use the extra time for your project. You can do that. It'll work out great. And there is times where things will be an issue where you won't have enough time to do everything. And that's when you have to make your decision. You can go cold turkey, but if you don't have that emergency fund, that means you automatically just quit your job, start doing it. What is going to happen? You are going to be stressed out about money. Because unless your side hustle is already bringing the same equivalent amount of money and you didn't have any lifestyle increase, you are going to need to have the same level of income to survive. That's just how it is. Money is needed. Now, the next thing you can do is have a personal communication with your current employer to maintain a relationship and ensure a smooth transition. So maybe you talk to your boss and say, hey, I got these jobs and projects going on for my personal life, and I need more time off. I need to start working part-time. And they might allow you that transition. And this is where you need to figure out how to maintain a proper relationship and ensure you are good. So this is where you make sure you have a smooth transition. The top for you to have a smooth transition is all on you. And sometimes some people like it and sometimes some people don't. So this is all up to you on how you want to handle your transition. Some bosses are horrible, but at the end of the day, make a decision and what's good for yourself. So the last thing for a smooth transition and phase out exit is leveraging your existing network to identify mentors and potential client with your professional circle. Yes, you might have some contacts that other people don't have, and this will help your business. And that's how you transition out smoothly. Is you have talks, conversations, understand that, hey, this is going to help you. This is my network. This is my potential client. He's my mentor. And this will continue your growth as a person and as an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur isn't hard if you have the right people to handle everything. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is navigating the unknown, mindset shift, and early challenges. So you're going to have to overcome imposter syndrome and fear of failing and building a resilient and self-belief. At the end of the day, when you start transferring out, you need to be sure that you're going to be successful. If not, you're going to be in a big world of trouble. Because at the end of the day, you need to understand that your business is going to have a lot of ups and downs. And you're going to lose a lot of money sometimes. You're going to gain a lot of money. And this is the thing you have to understand. things happen and you will have to figure out what's the best to do in those situations. So make sure you understand that business is not going to go smoothly all the time, and you're going to have to mentally change your mindset for this. Now, the reality that you're going to have is you're going to have to wear multiple hats. You're going to have to do time management, discipline, embrace the learning curve that you're going to have to learn in this business. When I became a business owner, I had to learn all this stuff. It wasn't so much of a headache. I had to learn how to keep my employee. I had to learn how to manage everyone's time. I had to learn how to be disciplined and not spend money on stupid things. I had to embrace everything that I was learning and keep it going. Now, the last thing about navigating the unknown is early revenue generation strategies. Focus on quick wins and validate your business model. That's what you need to do when you first start. How are you going to bring in money? Do not worry too much about anything else. You need to get these quick wins to bring in the income, make it consistent, and you're going to be good. And this is the early challenges. Now, lastly, on transition out of your job is thriving beyond the leap, sustainable growth, and future-proof. Build a strong support system. This is where you have to start networking with fellow entrepreneurs and seek mentorship with people that have been in your shoes. I get people for a business consultant all the time. What should I do here? What should I do here? And I answer these questions. This is how I'll handle it. But make sure you run the numbers and everything makes sense. Or you have a network group where y'all sit there and talk to each other. So make sure you understand your situation and build a long-term future business. And the next thing is for this sustainable growth is make sure you do scalability and diversity plan for long-term growth is very important for multiple stream of income for your business. Once you do that, you'll be okay. Because you need multiple stream of income, even in a business. So you might have to do services. You might have to do different avenue of items. You can't just rely on one item. You can't just rely on one service. So make sure you strategize to have multiple stream of income just in case one tanks. Now, lastly, about long-term growth is embrace continuous learning and adaptation. It's rapidly evolving for entrepreneurship, and this is where you have to keep growing. So like and subscribe to my video, and that's all I got for you.